The Forgotten Native Boarding Schools, Erasing Culture by Force. Welcome back to the Forgotten Chapters podcast. They called it education. But for tens of thousands of Native children across the United States, it was something much darker, a calculated erasure. These weren't schools. They were factories of assimilation. And their mission was simple: kill the Indian and save the man. Between the late 1800s and well into the 20th century, the U.S. government, with the help of Christian organizations, established over 500 Indian boarding schools. These schools were designed to strip Native children of their language, their family bonds, their religion, and their identity. According to the U.S. Department of the Interior's 2022 Federal Indian Boarding School Report, at least 973 children died while in federal care. Their names, often never recorded. And investigators believe the number is only a fraction of the truth. It began in the 1870s when Captain Richard Henry Pratt opened the Carlisle Indian Industrial School in Pennsylvania. Pratt believed Native children could be civilized through forced education and labor. The Carlisle model became a blueprint for dozens of others across the Dakotas, Arizona, Oklahoma, and beyond. Children were forcibly taken from their families, sometimes by train, sometimes by armed agents. When they arrived, their hair was cut short. Their traditional clothing was burned. They were given new names, often English or biblical. And if they dared to speak their native language, they were beaten or locked away in silence. Imagine being a child, unable to understand the words around you, surrounded by strangers, punished for remembering who you are. Many of them never saw home again. Some ran away, only to die from the cold. Others were buried in school cemeteries that, until recently, remained unmarked and forgotten. In 2021, ground-penetrating radar uncovered 215 unmarked graves at a former residential school in Canada. That discovery led to hundreds more across North America and reopened wounds Native families have carried for generations. The intent wasn't just to educate. It was to eliminate a culture. Children were taught Christianity, manual labor, and domestic service. Girls were trained to be maids. Boys were sent to work in fields or factories. Instructors told them their old ways were savage. Over time, the language, songs, and stories of entire tribes began to disappear. The National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition reports that nearly every Native family in the U.S. has a relative who attended one of these schools. The trauma didn't end when the doors finally closed. It passed down through silence, shame, and loss of identity. In recent years, truth and healing efforts have begun to surface. Tribes are working to locate the remains of children and bring them home. The U.S. government has launched investigations into burial sites, records, and unmarked cemeteries, once hidden within old school grounds. For the first time, descendants are being heard, their voices breaking through generations of quiet grief. The goal of these schools was to erase Native culture, but what they couldn't destroy was resilience. Language classes are being revived. Songs once banned are being sung again. And the truth, the one buried with those children, is finally being uncovered. Because some stories refuse to stay silent forever. Like and follow to uncover the past